Hello everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Let's Grapple here on the Too Sweet Cosplay YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be a special episode. This will be a little different than the usual pace where it's mostly just wrestling talk. This here will be about our upcoming event, WWE Cosplay Day 7 at Anime Central. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be taking place Sunday, May 19th at 1 o'clock p.m. And I'm going to go a little bit about the history of WWE Cosplay Day and the impact of ACEN. Once again, my name is STVO, in case you didn't know. I'm the host of Let's Grapple. So I'm going to let you know a little bit more of myself going into Anime Central, and I'm also going to go into the WWE Cosplay Day event. So starting off, I started going to Anime Central in 2002. I was 18 years old. I was a high schooler, just kind of like getting my feet wet into the anime and comic book convention scene. I was a wrestling fan. I was into anime. I thought my friends showed me photos from Anime Central as far back as 1998. I know I'm kind of dating myself here. I'm going to sound probably a lot older to many of the people who are attending Anime Central, as I know many have started later. So, in short, I was a big fan. My first Anime Central, I was blown away by it. I thought it was a great time. Some anime I was really into back then was Yu Yu Hakusho, Outlaw Star, Lupin the Third. I liked Hellsing. I don't know, there was a lot. Pretty much anything you'd see on a Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, I was a big fan of. I would explore into some other animes here and there, like the Get Backers, for example. I don't watch as much anime as I used to. I still like it, but I just don't watch as much. Some stuff that I have seen more recently that I do happen to enjoy. I did like the Castlevania series on Netflix. Huge fan of the video game, and this series really does the video games justice, so props to that. High Score Girl, I've watched a little of that. I think that's very funny. Has a lot of 90s video games, including Street Fighter 2. I thought that was a very clever concept. Another one I did like is One Punch Man. I think that's very funny, very nice action-oriented show. And just recently, Adult Swim announced a show. It's not so much an anime, but it's an action cartoon. It's called Primal. It's from Genndy Tartakovsky, who he did Samurai Jack, Dexter's Lab, and then he did the whole Hotel Transylvania trilogy. Cute little movies there, so yeah, you know, I'm a bit of a nerd in addition to a wrestling fan. And that's what Too Sweet Cosplay is all about. We kind of have a little bit of the nerd side meet the wrestling side and just go for the whole wrestling experience. So I hope you guys are enjoying that with the Too Sweet Cosplay. So furthermore, WWE Cosplay Day originated from some friends and I attended WWE Extreme Rules back in 2012. I did talk with some friends about wanting to do wrestling cosplays. I was mostly doing stuff like cartoons, anime, movies, but didn't really explore the wrestling aspect so much. So it was Anime Central weekend actually during Extreme Rules 2012. This was the one where Brock Lesnar made his grand return to the WWE. He had a match with Cena. John Cena defeated him. A lot of us were like, oh my god, they just ruined Brock Lesnar already, when that's quite the opposite. There was plenty of Brock long-term title reigns to come, so he definitely wasn't ruined. But back then we were me and a couple others were upset. But so my friend and I, actually like a few friends, like one dressed up as The Undertaker, one dressed up as Luffy from One Piece, Luffy D. Monkey. I was dressed up as Nickelodeon cartoon character Danny Phantom. It was amusing. I probably wouldn't regularly dress in an arena in cosplay myself too much. I mean, maybe I'll do something a little more simplified. but it can be a little rough, especially if you have a wig and heavy clothes. That stuff is rough, but I mean, that's not going to rule out stuff for the Survivor Series gathering for later this year. But yeah, cosplay when you watch a wrestling show, especially after a long Anime Con weekend, can be tough. So furthermore from that, someone and I discussed about the whole wrestling cosplay thing. They didn't have a photo shoot at Anime Central. Seldom you'd see some wrestling cosplayers roam around, but you never really saw a full photo shoot. So we decided to pitch a photo shoot to Anime Central. That was in 2013. That was the first ever WWE Cosplay Day. We were like, hey, let's give it a try. It made it onto the schedule. That was very nice. And it ended up getting scheduled for Sunday at 12 o'clock p.m. Our regular time now is Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. So some people were like hesitant, saying, oh, I don't know if a Sunday photo shoot will be good. Sunday's so dead. Who wants to dress up for a wrestling cosplay shoot or any kind of cosplay photo shoot on Sunday? People are going to be hungover. People are going to want to get the hell out of the con for after that day's done. Well, it's been going on for 7 years, and it keeps growing each year. So for a Sunday photo shoot, I'd say Too Sweet Cosplay has been doing a damn good job. The whole WWE Cosplay Day community has been awesome. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge turnout the first year, but I would say it's pretty exceptional turnout. You'll see some photos in a little bit showing kind of the progression of how it's come from 2013 to 2018. And as soon as we do this year's photo shoot, WWE Cosplay Day 7, you'll see there's probably going to be a pretty nice sized crowd there. So we're definitely expecting that. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so for the second year for the WWE Cosplay Day shoot, we actually had Lisa Marie Veron, who you might know as Tara from TNA or Victoria from the WWF or WWE. Sorry, they were still WWE. They became WWE at that time, so. But no, she was there. She was running the Squared Circle restaurant for a while. Lasted a good few years. A lot of wrestling fans loved it. It was very fun, especially when she would be at the restaurant. A lot of good food. You could watch wrestling. A popular thing I would do is come with some friends and watch SmackDown on Fridays, back when it was a Friday show, which it will be again later this year. She showed up. It was pretty fun. She let us do wrestling moves. She'd pose with the fans. It was very fun. So she's always welcome to come back. Lisa, I can't thank you enough for stopping by there. We haven't had any actual pro wrestlers since then. We're always willing to change that. However, at the Too Sweet Cosplay shoots, or well, the photo booth, the entrance set, we had Billy Gunn and Velvet Sky, as well as Billy Gunn's son, who is a wrestler as well. His name is Austin Gunn. They stopped by our photo shoot, and they've done an awesome entrance. You can see that on our Facebook page. I believe you can see it also on the Instagram and Twitter. I will upload that soon to the YouTube channel. I'm definitely gradually working on getting more content on YouTube in addition to this original series of Let's Grapple. So you can see that. Ernie Hudson stopped by, not to do an entrance, but just to say hello, and he actually did a photo with me, Nico, Wild Card, not the Wild Card rule, but Too Sweet Cosplay's Wild Card, Andy, and then EJV as well, Ezra. We all got a photo with him. So it just goes to show that the WWE Cosplay Day thing has helped Too Sweet Cosplay progress as a whole. It's been a very fun experience. In addition, while the name is WWE Cosplay Day, the name was made WWE Cosplay Day, so it stands out. So people know WWE more, like versus saying the professional wrestling shoot. I don't think it's as flashy. I mean, it's working out more. The pro wrestling things do stand out more, but WWE, let's face it, when it comes to wrestling, people do know that. So that name stood out more. It kind of just engaged wrestling fans. They're like, hey, there's a wrestling photo shoot at Anime Central. Let's go to it. But just because it's called WWE doesn't mean it is only WWE cosplays. We've seen some classic cosplayers from ECW. We've seen some classics from the WCW. We've seen a Willow. He was more of a TNA. Jeff Hardy as Willow in TNA, and of course the Backyard Wrestling days for Omega. And then of course, well, speaking of Omega, we've seen Kenny Omega from New Japan, and now soon AEW Wrestling. And we've seen various different cosplays from all sorts. Everybody gets creative. It's a very fun shoot. The best way I can compare it is it's almost like Smash Brothers Ultimate, where all the Nintendo characters get together, or we could say Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, where you see all the Marvel superheroes come together. It's kind of what we try to do with all these Too Sweet Cosplay wrestling gatherings in general. And I forgot to mention that we've seen some Ultimate Muscle sightings, or we've had some people who will take a cosplay that they're currently in. We've had we've had a Harley Quinn cosplayer come in and just acted as an Alexa Bliss. We had someone with a nice shirt, tie, and dress pants. He came in to be Vince McMahon. So we kind of try to get everybody to interact as much as possible, not just the wrestling cosplayers. If there's fans who want to have some fun and have a few laughs, we will get people involved. They come up with creative chants. There's nice little music, great photography. It's a great thing. It's been a lot of fun doing these WWE cosplay shoots every year at Anime Central. I can't thank the people who have been involved in the beginning, the first attendees of the photo shoot. I thank them a lot. I thank all of you who are expressing interest, whether it's your first time going or you're still fairly new to wrestling cosplay and the wrestling photo shoots. I thank you guys for that. I thank you, the people who are watching and spectating. I think that's great. Anime Central staff, you're all awesome. Can't thank you enough. Can't thank the photo gathering coordinator enough. He's helped ensure that WWE Cosplay Days run smooth each year and is on the schedule for fans to see and plan that out. You all been very great. You've made this a massive success. I never expected it to be something that I would do yearly or run a Facebook page with my fellow colleagues who they will be in attendance. Rocky, Wildcard, hoping EJV and Nico will show up. I know it's a little tougher for them to make it out to the area on this week, but they're always welcome to come. We love having them, love doing events with them. So at least 3/5 of the Too Sweet Cosplay admins will be on hand. So before I go to the next part of the show, I want to show WWE Cosplay Day some photos from the beginning to the present, from 2013 to 2018. We'll have the 2019 ready after next Sunday. So check out these awesome photos and see how it's progressed, and look and see how it's been a very fun time. Check it out. so yeah, that's WWE Cosplay Day. I hope you all can attend. It's Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time at Anime Central in Rosemont, Illinois. I'll have some information in the link itself, so stay tuned. The next part, the final part of the show, is going to be Money in the Bank predictions. So not only is there WWE Cosplay Day at Anime Central this coming Sunday, WWE is going to be hosting their Money in the Bank pay-per-view. It's a little unusual having Money in the Bank right after WrestleMania. It usually is Backlash or another filler pay-per-view, or the Greatest Royal Rumble, for example, last year. I know that they had those two pay-per-views, and then it was Money in the Bank in June. It's been varied. It's been in June. I think they've had it in the July, and now it's in May this year. This year, WWE Money in the Bank will be in May, and it's this coming Sunday. So also stay tuned on the Too Sweet Cosplay Facebook page. We'll be doing Too Sweet Face Off. That's a popular and fun little thing where you vote for which wrestler you want to win their matches. I've posted 4 already. I've already posted Becky Two Belts face-offs, so check those out. I'm going to be posting some more Wednesday through Friday, so stay tuned. It's a fun time. So for now, though, we're going to go and predict the show. I'm going to give a little feedback for each match, and then I'm going to let you know who I think will win, and I might throw in some who I want to win but don't think will wins here and there. So here we go. Let's start off with the first match. It's from 205 Live. It's a Cruiserweight Championship match. It's going to be Tony Nese against Arya Daivari. So leveling with you, I know I've mentioned it before, I believe on last week's show for the championship title matches. I don't follow 205 Live, so I don't really know what the story is going on. I don't know if Tony Nese is a face. I don't know if Arya Daivari is a face. It should be a good match. I mean, the cruiserweights always deliver. I can't tell you why I could think this or what's going on with the current story and feud, but I'm just going to say Tony Nese retains because I can't see him losing the title right away. Unless there's something going on that I don't know, I think Tony Nese retains. Next up, this is on the kickoff show. I don't know if the cruiserweight match is. It wasn't listed as a kickoff show match, but maybe it'll be on there. But for sure, on as of tonight's episode of SmackDown, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, will be defending their titles against the Usos. So the Usos are now a team on Raw. They have a bit of a rivalry with the Revival. I don't know why they're competing for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, but apparently that's going to be what's going on. I guess it's because that's a more invigorating feud than Usos versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, who I guess they're still the Raw Tag Team Champions, yet we hardly see them on Raw. I guess, unless I missed something on SmackDown tonight, I didn't watch the whole episode. I read the spoilers because it was filmed in the UK, and I watched bits and pieces. Had to take care of some errands and walk the dog. So I don't know if they did mention why they get a title shot to SmackDown, but I guess with the wild card rule in effect, maybe that's why they get it. And of course, we know that when the Hardys vacated the belts, they previously won them from the Usos, and then the Usos had a title shot against Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan because they just raised that argument with Shane McMahon. Shane let them have their match, but Rowan and Daniel Bryan won the titles. So I guess they're going to get one more shot to win the tag titles. well, minor bickerings apart. Should be a fun match, but I don't see any reason for the Usos to win those tag titles, at least from SmackDown right now. I think that Rowan and Daniel Bryan will retain the tag titles, and the Usos will some way somehow get the Raw tag titles from Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, or maybe the Revival will win them and then the Usos will win it off the Revival later. Time will tell. We'll see. I don't know. Alright, so the next match is United States Champion Samoa Joe will be taking on Rey Mysterio once again. So they just had that match at WrestleMania. Joe beat Rey in under a minute, yet we get to see the match again. I mean, I'm not going to complain because I think this time it'll be a longer length of a match, but I just don't see Rey winning it, even though they have been hyping it up as the only title Rey hasn't won. So the U.S. title, that would make him a Grand Slam champion if he does defeat Samoa Joe. So that's something also to take into account. I may change my mind later, but I'm going to go with Samoa Joe retaining the title just because I don't really see Rey Mysterio doing it. And Rey has several accomplishments to his name already, so I just don't know. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling more so. I guess it would make a ton of sense if Rey did just finally win his U.S. title and then they go from there. But I don't know. I'm just going to go with Joe for now. That's all I'm going to say. Next match is going to be Roman Reigns versus Elias. That's kind of been a feud going into SmackDown. Two former Raw guys, both very popular. They're now the big focus of SmackDown. This is more so is probably just a filler feud for Roman Reigns before he gets back into the world title scene. I mean, they're trying to put more of an emphasis on Kofi Kingston right now. So I think that right now this is just a filler feud for Roman Reigns, and I don't see why he would lose to Elias. Roman Reigns wins it. The feud's been okay, nothing extraordinary, but it's just been kind of your typical filler feud for a top guy. I mean, Elias has his alliance with Shane. He's cut some entertaining promos, but Roman's the big dog. He's always been WWE's #1 guy since they decided to push him, so I see no reason for him to lose this match. Next up is going to be The Miz versus Best in the World. Hope Nico didn't hear me say that, nor CM Punk heard me say that, but it's Best in the World, Shane McMahon and The Miz going on one-on-one once again. It's in a steel cage match. It should actually, I think they'll at least make it an entertaining match. It's kind of interesting. They're going to be doing a steel cage match during the Money in the Bank, where there's two ladder matches. I don't see a reason why this shouldn't be a good match. There might be some shenanigans. Maybe Lashley will get involved, or somebody else. Maybe Elias will get involved, but it should be a good match. I think The Miz will finally get his win back against Shane McMahon because Shane won it at WrestleMania. This time around, I'm going to predict The Miz to defeat Shane McMahon, and then both will move on to new feuds from there. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going with The Miz for now. And then we're on to one of two women's title matches. Becky Two Belts has two matches to do for that night because she's the Raw Women's Champion. She's also the SmackDown Women's Champion. So starting off, it's going to be Becky Lynch defending her Raw title to Raw superstar Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, she has been on a fairly hot roll. At least she's been getting a lot of screen time ever since debuting on the main roster. At first it was just her ladylike poses, coming down the ring and just strutting and just showing off. But eventually she started attacking Becky Lynch after she became the champion. She challenged Natalya, who wanted a title shot against Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title at Money in the Bank. Lacey, she challenged Natalya for that spot and ended up taking that spot. This should be a decent match. Lacey seems like she has some promise in the ring. I think it's a little bit too early for her to win the title. I think they could very well surprise us and do it. They did that random Jinder Mahal push, and he won the world title after they decided not to make him a jobber anymore. So this is entirely possible. I'm not saying Lacey's bad or nothing. I'm not saying that at all. But I could see them just randomly making her champion and then not knowing what to do from there. But for right now, I think that Becky will at least retain one title at Money in the Bank. She gets to leave with at least one belt. I'm going to make it the Raw Women's title. She'll retain that. And then we're having yet another Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch match. So that one is going to be for the SmackDown Women's Championship. To my knowledge, Charlotte Flair has not won any of the matches in her rivalry with Becky. Becky's been primarily getting the best of her post SummerSlam 2018. I guess that's the only one that you can count, but that was more so a triple threat because Carmella was in the match, and Charlotte Flair finally got the gold off of Carmella after trying multiple times to do so. Just Becky Lynch happened to be involved in the match, and from there, she just that's just what happened. Becky Lynch took the title from Charlotte, and like practically every match since then, she has defeated Charlotte for the respective title. This is the title I see Becky losing. I don't know if it's going to be by Charlotte actually defeating her finally. I mean, the statistics show that it would make a lot of sense that Charlotte finally gets her win against Becky. And feel free to correct me wrong in the comment sections if you can recall any time from SummerSlam 2018 to now where Charlotte did defeat Becky in a one-on-one match. Again, I'm not counting the triple threat, but that's what I'm counting. I mean, that's what I'm saying for Becky. There's the Money in the Bank. That's another thing to consider. Maybe Becky will retain and the Money in the Bank winner will screw her over. I could see something like that, be it Bayley, be it Mandy, be it Dana Brooke, you name it. I could see at least one lady winning the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashing in on Becky, or even Charlotte if she wins, becomes a 9-time champion. Someone cashes in. The end of her 9-time run is done, and Charlotte can win the title for a 10th time later this year. Okay, gotta pick one or the other. I'm gonna pick Becky to retain. That way, the Money in the Bank winner will cash in, which I'll get to in a short bit. As we're gonna go to the Universal title match, and that's between champion Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. I think it's too soon for AJ to win the title. I think he will become a Universal Champion at some point in his run on Monday Night Raw. Just right now, the stars aren't aligned. The match should be very solid. Their promos back and forth have been very good. But I'm just going to call Seth Rollins to retain the Universal Championship. The next match is for the WWE Heavyweight title. That's going to be Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens. Kind of a quick feud they've been doing. It's not been bad, but it's just, kind of been out of nowhere. Kofi Kingston joins the New Day to fill in for Big E. He becomes the Big O. We're talking to Anime there again. But then he betrays both Kofi and Xavier the week after, and just kind of shows he's still the mean heel that he's always been, and Sami Zayn's been getting involved and helping him out here and there, using the whole wild card rule to help to their benefit. So, with that being said, I think that Kofi is going to get his revenge on KO and defeat him. He's going to remain the champion for another month at least. Kofi Kingston will win that very match and go on to his next opponent at the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view. I don't know who it will be, but I could see a new rivalry happening at Stomping Grounds in June. Now we're going to talk about the women's Money in the Bank and then the men's Money in the Bank matches. I'm going to give my ultimate winner, and then I'll give a side prediction on who I think is a possible winner. So starting off, I'm going to say for the women's, I did talk about this previous episode. I'm just going to stay with Bayley. I think Bayley will win, and she'll also successfully cash in her Money in the Bank on either Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch. I'm going to predict that it's Becky Lynch that she cashes in on, because they've been kind of teasing a Twitter feud. They may not have their match right away then, but I could see down the road later on that Becky and Bayley will have a match of sorts in the future. So right now, Bayley is my pick for Money in the Bank winner. Second option, I'm going to go with Ember Moon. I think that maybe she's just kind of waiting for a breakout moment, and they'll try to make her a big breakout star. So that is my second pick. For the Money in the Bank men's ladder match, things changed on Monday. Braun Strowman is officially out of the match, and Sami Zayn is in for his place because he defeated him in a Falls Count Anywhere match in the UK. So Sami Zayn is now taking Braun Strowman's place. However, after consideration, I think that Drew McIntyre still wins the Money in the Bank match. I think he's the dark horse to win. Sami Zayn could be a potential second. However, I'm going to award that to Andrade. No Cien Almas, but just Andrade. He wins that match and he's the second option from there. But most likely it's going to be Drew McIntyre getting his big heel run in as Mr. Money in the Bank. He'll be the one to eventually cash in on Seth Rollins successfully and become the new champion. So that's really all I have for now. I'm not going to do a Q&A in this episode. There weren't too many questions asked. I do have one in place. It will be on the next episode of Let's Grapple. So if you want to join the club and have your question answered in an upcoming episode of Let's Grapple, message the Too Sweet Cosplay Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or just comment on any of the posts, and then just use hashtag AskSTVO, and I'll answer the question. You can submit at least 2 questions. I'll try to make sure I get to answer everybody's questions. It could be about wrestling, it could be about cosplay, it could be about video games, anime, you name it. Just try to make it a question that's not been answered or just something that can be discussed, and I will try to include it on a future episode. I just also want to give a shout out once again to WWE Cosplay Day 7. It's going to be this Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time. It's going to be located at Hall F at flag number 1. It's going to be inside the convention center. Anime Central is going to be taking place at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center, as well as panels and other events in the surrounding areas, including the Hyatt O'Hare. It's a good hotel, lots of stuff going on. Check it out. It's this weekend, Friday through Sunday. And also a shout out to our buddy George Gaynor. He's going to be running the 6 Stars New Japan Pro Wrestling panel. There'll be some more information on the Facebook page. I believe it's going to be running, I believe the start time is 4:30, but you can confirm it on our Facebook page. We've shared a post. I'll make another post to remind people of it. But come check it out. That one's going to be taking place Friday. The cosplay photo shoot will be taking place Sunday. So if you got something wrestling related fun to do all weekend long. So thank you all for watching. Hope to see you at Anime Central this weekend. Too sweet, everybody. Have a good week.